in American democracy. I found that chance in fall of last year when, in my first year at Florida Atlantic University, I got a job opportunity with the Florida Future Leaders PAC, led by a great young man from FSU. His name is Jaden Gianofrio. He leads the youngest youth PAC in the United States of America. I was working full-time, making sure that people are registered on the breezeway, talking with frat boys, sorority girls, and commuter students to ensure that they're informed about American politics, what's going on today, how it affects them, and how that is going to influence their vote in November. I must have registered hundreds of students to vote, and I had a great team of volunteers and other employees by my side to do it. On Election Day, I am so incredibly proud that the voter precincts at FAU and UF both achieved over 100% turnout because of all the students who had moved in from out of state and cast provisional ballots. They were able to make their voices heard right here in the state of Florida because there are young people organizing, working hard, registering voters, making sure that young people are prepared to fight back against this government. And yet, ever since Trump's re-election, many of my friends, many of them immigrants, many of my fellow organizers have been daunted. They are afraid to go out and organize. They are afraid to go and make their voices heard. Both of my parents are concerned about attending these protests, or even me attending these protests, because they're not citizens. Who knows what the Trump administration will do to them for speaking their voices? I get it. I get it. But the moment Americans are too afraid to go out in public and tell the Trump administration that you are ruining this country, he will have lost. Goodness knows, that is not the case, because I see hundreds of people out here. 3.5 million Americans are assembled to make their voices heard in protest today across the United States of America. And even though Trump has deployed 3,000 National Guardsmen and 700 Marines to the streets of Los Angeles, hundreds of thousands of Angelinos are turning out and sticking up to ICE thuggery and Trump's authoritarianism. This is why I am proud to be an American. This is why I consider myself a patriot. Not because we have a big bad military to show off in Washington, D.C., to parade around as if we're North Korea, but because of what it's supposed to protect. A proud and independent nation, the land of the free and the home of the brave. I read a couple days ago in the newspaper that Professor Jason Stanley, apparently one of our foremost experts on fascism at Yale University, has left the country. He moved to Canada. And look, I hope he can build a good life there, but as far as I'm concerned, he is a coward. Anyone who knows the first thing about fascism knows that right now, America is a free country. As long as you have the right to go out and demonstrate, to protest, to vote, to kick out Trump and his ilk in 2028, America is a free country. You have rights and liberties, and the only way to protect them is to use them. I've heard so many people tell me, I've read so many people say on social media that, after Trump's re-election, they're going to move to Canada, they're going to move to Sweden. They have free health care, they have free college, and look, that may be true, but this is my home. This is where I grew up. I'm from Pompano Beach, Florida, born and raised. I've been going to school in Boca Raton for the last 13 years of my life. I graduated high school a few weeks ago. Am I going to leave because some populist jerk got elected to the presidency twice? Hell no! Hell no. And look, if academics, professors, and other privileged people want to pick up and leave, that is their right. But I love my country, and I'm going to live and die in the United States of America. Better later than sooner. So as we slowly begin to wrap up this protest and this rally, I want you to think, what are the next few years of your life going to look like? What are your politics going to look like in practice? Because politics doesn't wait until Election Day, No King's Day, Flag Day. Politics happens every day, every single day. And that calls for a moment of reflection. Because for the next few years, what are you going to do? I want to make sure that you are talking to the young people in their life, making sure that they know that they have to be registered to vote. stuff early, especially if you're in Florida, because our governor has a habit of throwing out voter registration. So stay on it, get registered early, make sure your kids, your cousins, your nieces, your nephews are registered and they stay registered. Not only that, but as so many people wake up to the harm that Trump is doing to our country, it is important that we are open-minded and that we talk to them. Because one thing progressives are really, 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 really good at is talking to other progressives. But that's preaching to the choir. At the end of the day, you're not winning any votes by agreeing with your neighbor who you've been talking to for the last 2 years that Trump sucks. We know, but they haven't figured that out yet. And as they wake up to it, be open-minded. Talk to your neighbors. Have those difficult conversations and realize they are Americans too. Many of them have been misled by a populist liar who wants to use this country to enrich himself and stay out of prison. And they're beginning to realize it, trust me. Make this party, make this country a proud place for them to stand with freedom and liberty. So I'm going to wrap up, but on the note of young people, I have such a long life to live in this country, and I look forward to it. I'm confident that Trump is going to be a memory at some point in my life. Trump has overcome, this country has overcome fascism many times before. When Confederates enslaved half of this country and brought war, we beat them. The Union won, and it doesn't matter how many Confederate flags people fly in their pickup trucks. We live in the United States of America, not the Confederate States of America. In the 1950s, we survived McCarthyism when Republicans decided that everyone left of center was a suspected communist, a pinko. They lost. We have a free country, and the only way to protect your rights and freedoms is to keep using them. Thank you.
Do you all feel inspired by that now? When I met this young man, I said that we, as a collective, would stand shoulder to shoulder with him at any point to engage voters and get people out to change this shit show. With Nick. Our next citizen speaker to talk about health care, please welcome Maura Hennessy.
Hello, I'm wearing this today because my granddaughter has less rights as a woman than I had at her age. I lost my daughter, and now I'm raising my granddaughter. And when I lost my daughter, she was covered under Medicaid. So when I went to go make an appointment for my granddaughter in February of this year, they said, you have to go up to Port St. Lucie for a pediatrician. I went, why would I need to do that? It was a change that Medicaid made. So 6 out of 10 kids are on Medicaid in this country. Think about all the kids that can't get health care. Any child that, how do you abuse when they say, oh, there's fraud and abuse in health care? How do you abuse Medicaid? Please tell me. Nobody wants to take Medicaid. Just to try to get her therapy for her mother dying, my only child. It was so hard to get a doctor to accept Medicaid. And I didn't have the $200 an hour for therapy. So you're looking at it. You're looking at what I thought I was a privileged white woman. And I think that's a lot of like Trump voters. They think, oh, well, you know, it doesn't affect me. Privilege is when you look at something and you wonder, oh, it doesn't affect me. And empathy is about you look at something and you feel it because it's affecting someone else. Necessity of life. sell my house. I would file for bankruptcy. I mean, it's bizarre that they're taking health care away from kids to give less than 0.001% of the population back a tax break that they're probably not even asking for. Really, is Zuckerberg asking for a tax break? I don't think so. He doesn't need the money. So thank you. This is all about giving us back our basic rights.
Our next speaker is from the Florida Immigration Coalition. Please welcome Tessa from Flick, and with her is Nick from the Florida Valkyries.
Hey y'all, I'm Nick with the Florida Valkyries. Thanks to everybody for being out here. I mean, this was a crazy endeavor to help organize this, and so if anybody was here marching and you're still here now, like, thank you for that.
No, that's fine.
I wanted to touch on something a couple speakers ago. He's a lot younger than me, but like, I want to talk to the young people here. Like, if you're a young person and you're here and you care about the issues, and like, you're going to protest, but you feel like you need to do something more, like, get involved with an organization, because like, that's what I did, and it's like changed everything. And like, I don't know, for me it's very fulfilling, and it feels, and I think it's going to make a huge difference if we all get together. I don't care if it's the Florida Valkyries or if it's another organization, but like, just get involved with some organization, and we need to all work together. All these organizations need to collaborate and join forces, and that's how we're going to see the true change. And like, right now, our primary focus with the Valkyries is immigration. We did the Chrome protest, we did the vigil for the voiceless at Chrome, and we also, protesting Avelo and all, just anything ICE, because we hate ICE. So I'm happy to introduce our next speaker, Tessa from Lake. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. I thought 2 days ago they had frightened us not to come out. They couldn't. That's right, because this is a democracy. This is our freedom. And they will not keep us into the shadows. We are all here today because we are fighters. We've seen what is happening already. It happened in our history. These attacks on immigrants, this open hunting season of immigrants, we saw it in 1942 with the Japanese. They did it to the Chinese. They did it to the Mexicans in 1954. And every time it happens, it is because a racist prig wants to whitewash America. I could stand here and talk to you about immigrants' contribution to America. But we are not a shift at a hospital or a shift at a restaurant. We are human beings.